Hello and welcome to the Javelina 100 Race Brief. I am your race director, Jubilee Page, and I want to welcome each and every one of you, runners, crew, volunteers, everyone, to Javelina 100. We are just about a week out from the race, and we are so very excited to welcome you all to the desert for this amazing event next week, starting October 27th. For Friday, and then race day the 28th and 29th. We're going to get to the race brief, but I want to make sure to welcome each and every one of you to kind of go over this runner guide and crew guide with me. We're going to go over all of the race information together and just make sure that you are all prepared for an amazing experience here in Arizona. All right, so we're going to just jump right in. If you have not yet visited our website, please do so. All of the great information, all of your race day information, everything is going to be updated on the race website. So this includes your runner guide and crew guide, all of the qualifying information. If you are part of Javelina Hallucinations or our short race Jackass Night Trail, you'll have information there. And then, of course, our schedule of events. Everything is updated so far, and just continue to check back within the week. We've got some things that we're adding as well. But one of the biggest things is our Javelina presented by Hoka, and Hoka has an amazing lineup of events throughout the week during this what we call Ultra Festival, starting next week. So check out the Hoka Event Hub here, and you can RSVP to a lot of their amazing events throughout the week. So make sure, if you have not yet, please check out our website, full of amazing information. And this includes race info for race week. We've got course information, lodging and camping if you're still interested, and of course we're always looking for volunteers. So if you would like to volunteer and get a kind of behind the scenes look at Javelina 100, we would love to have you out there in the desert helping us prepare and also operate this amazing event. All right, that is our website. Again, we'll go over the Hoka Event Hub as well, but if you have not yet, please check out the link to the Hoka events. We have group runs and cocktail hours. We have a cool scavenger hunt happening all weekend long. The Javelina 100 pre-race shakeout was a lot of fun last year. We're bringing that back again this year. This is right before the event expo on Friday. We've also got Friday night family night, and a host of other really fun activities throughout the race. So be sure to check out all of these events presented by Hoka and hosted by Hoka on site at Javelina 100 next week. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. This is updated for everyone looking for all of the pertinent information for your race weekend. I think it's really important for individuals running it, crewing it. If you're volunteering, please digest and consume as much information as you possibly can. We try to put as much as we can out there for you so that everyone can have a positive race experience by being prepared when they show up on site race weekend. So I'll kind of get right into it. This is your participant guide, and we'll go over the crew guide as well. But we're going to start with the runner guide. Again, Javelina 100 presented by Hoka. We are so stoked to have them back again this year. We've been partners with Hoka for the last several years, and it's always an amazing event and the energy and the everything that they bring to Javelina. We are so excited to partner with them, and so you will check them out on site at Javelina throughout the entire week. Western States 100 Javelina 100 is a Western States 2024 Western States qualifier, and we are also a golden ticket race for the 2024 race. So that means the top 2 performing runners in both the men's and women's races will earn themselves a golden ticket automatic entry to next year's Western States endurance run. And then something that we've added this year is those individuals who win the golden tickets this year and who accept the golden tickets for Western States, their entries will be paid by Javelina 100. This is just your welcome page and a race location, making sure that you arrive on site. It's just a beautiful backdrop. We get to run in the McDowell Mountains and what I believe to be a great example of the Sonoran Desert and just the abundance and diversity of life out in the desert that we get to showcase. So, and then a little bit about our organization. Javelina 100 is run and operated by Aravaipa Running. We have been operating in the valley for over 10 years, and Javelina 100 was the very first race that we took over in 2003, or 2009 rather. It was started in 2003 by Jerry Kay, and so it has been running since then, and this will be our 21st running of the Javelina 100. But check out Aravaipa Running. We've got races throughout the entire year and a diverse collection of races, trail races, shorter distance, long distance, up to 250 miles even. So if you have not run with Aravaipa Running before, please check out our event website and join us on your next trail race. Just a little bit of navigation for you for our contents, and then a little bit of history for Javelina 100. Again, started in 2003 with Jerry Kay, and Jerry Kay essentially started this entire race, and it was born out of the spirit of fun, like she says. She is a spirit of fun herself, and she just wanted to create a race that people could go out and have fun and be challenged, and also, enjoy the beauty of the desert. And so that's what we try to uphold. That's her legacy that she left us with. So I'm very, very excited to continue that and just promote the abundance of fun at Javelina 100. So that is what you can expect every year that we do Javelina 100. A little eco responsibility, please look this over. We want to make sure that we take care of the trails that we run on. So we are very lucky to make the Sonoran Desert our backdrop for Javelina 100, and we want to make sure that we can continue this race year after year. So we got to take care of the trails. So this means just being diligent and kind of aware as you run along. If you see little goo tabs or you see little bits of trash or anything like that, please pick it up and dispose of it at the proper receptacles we have along the side of the course. We have trash receptacles on site at Javelina headquarters, and then also at every single aid station. So please be diligent about discarding your trash in the right areas. We are a cupless race, so we don't offer cups at our aid stations. So please bring either a cup, a flask, a bottle, additional bottle if you want anything outside of water. So it's just a real quick refill. We have several different offerings, but if you want water and then soda or goo or whatever it is, just make sure that you have an extra cup for those items. Please carry all your trash to the appropriate aid station and discard it there. If you are on site or your crew is on site, we will have recycling receptacles as well. So please ask, like within the beer garden, we have, we're able to recycle as well. So just make sure that you look for those bins. TerraCycling, this is, I think, the 4th or 5th year that we've actually been able to partner with TerraCycle and Goo. All of those little goo wrappers that are usually recyclable, you can upcycle them with TerraCycle, and so we'll be collecting all of your goo wrappers, your Stroop waffle wrappers, kind of any of those energy bar wrappers that would typically be thrown away. We want to keep them, and so we have containers at each aid station for you to dispose of those. And then a shoe donation also will be on site within our Big Top store, Soul Sports, and we will collect any gently worn shoes, or if you are done with your race and you want to donate those shoes that you ran your race in, you are welcome to drop those off at the Big Top tent on site at Javelina headquarters. Again, schedule of events. We have so many things going on, and I'll kind of go through those with you, but please take a look. Anything that you see in bold is going to be hosted by Hoka, and that will link you to the Hoka events hub so you can RSVP to some of these events. We've got our Aravaipa group run Javelina experience. It's a quick 30-minute to an hour run, depending on, we have several pace groups. We have several distances that you can travel, and it's just to kind of get you out on the trails to experience a little bit of a preview before race day. So you can join us in our community run group, Aravaipa group run, on Wednesday on the 25th at 7 p.m. And then afterwards, we're going to host a social at Bonehouse Brewing in Fountain Hills. Thursday, we're going to do runner arrival, starting with RVs. So if you have an RV pass that you have pre-purchased with your registration, you can start arriving starting Thursday at 7 a.m. Then at 12 p.m. noon, we are open for crew tent setup by reservation. So we did this a little bit differently this year with crew tent setup. This is no man's land. And if you are interested in setting up a crew tent along the course inside Javelina, if you're hosting multiple runners, if this is a run where you're going to bring a lot of crew members and you would like to set up a 10 by 10 for them, you have to do it per reservation. So that was opened last month. We are, I believe, sold out already. With a wait list. So make sure that if you do want to set up a tent, that you have a reservation to do so, because we will be checking those reservations. So that will start on Thursday at 12 noon. You'll arrive at the park. Please do not arrive early, because we will not be able to accommodate you early. So you're going to start at 12 noon. Or by your reserved time. So we've got several reserved times. You basically have a 90-minute window to come in, drop your gear, set up your station, or kind of claim your spot, and then get that all done and pre-done before race day. Okay, so we'll go over that just a little bit more when we get to the crew guide. But that will start on Thursday. And then that evening, we do have a social hour, cocktail hour at the Bachelor's Pad. Please come and join us. This is kind of open to everyone, runners, volunteers, crew, and my staff will also be there. So please come and say hello and socialize with us a little bit. All right, so Friday is our big day, and Friday we are starting early in the morning with crew tent setup at 7 a.m. So again, by reservation, if you have a reserved time, please stick to that reserved time. Anybody who has a current reservation will receive an email just confirming the time of their setup, and then kind of some operations on how that's going to go. But that's going to start first thing in the morning. If you are camping as well, if you have a pre-reserved tent with us, at Tent City, or if you are looking to set up your own tent with a permit that was purchased with registration, you can start arriving at 7 a.m. as well to check in and claim your spot. At 10 a.m., we've got the Javelina pre-race shakeout hosted by Hoka, Rabbit, and Goo. We've got a lot of fun stuff happening at 10 a.m. and this is right before our expo opens. So arrive early, kind of shake out those nerves a little bit, and have some fun with some of our amazing sponsors. And I believe they're meeting at the Hoka Lounge, so RSVP and sign up for that shakeout run and get ready for our expo. So 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. is when we host our expo this year. This is an opportunity for runners to pick up their bibs at headquarters. You're going to get your bib, your shirt, all of the goodies. You're going to be able to kind of take a tour through all of our sponsors and our sponsor tents. You can check in again for camping. You can kind of decorate your crew tents. You can drop off your drop bags. This is all of the things pre-race that you want to do before you get to race day, so it kind of takes all of the pressure and all of the rush off of race day. One thing that we are changing this year is that we will have no race day pickup. So if you are in the 100 mile and the 100K specifically, you'll have to pick up your bib on Friday, the 27th. So make sure you plan for that because we will not have that available for you pre-race Saturday morning. That big top will be closed until 8 a.m. when it opens, but pre-race it will be closed. So make sure that you pick up your bib and your packet and all of your info. Do that pre-race Friday on the 27th at the expo. Additionally, we've got some fun things planned on Friday for crews and for families. So kind of make a day of it. If you've never experienced Javelina, this is a great introduction to the race and to the event. So at noon, we've got Freak Brothers Pizza and a charity beer garden opening. Our charity beer garden is sponsored by the Front Runners, Front Walkers of Phoenix. It's LGBTQIA friendly running group here in Phoenix. And they are sponsoring our Rattlesnake Aid Station. So you'll see them out partying at the Rattlesnake Aid Station in the morning. And they are sponsoring your charity beer garden. And so all the proceeds will go to that. And so we've got that opening on noon. And then we've got our family night, Fright night, happening at the Hoka Lounge. So you can start arriving a little bit early. Around 5 p.m. we'll have kind of everybody gather at the Hoka Lounge, and you can bring your kiddos. They can color in their bibs, get all prepared for the hopeful kids race that we have happening at 5:30. So we have a kids race. This is kids of all ages. So please, if you want to bring your family to experience Javelina, this is kind of a cool thing for everybody to enjoy, and then the kids run one lap around Javelina headquarters, and that's a cool way to kick off the weekend. And then at 6 p.m. we've got movie night in the desert. So typically we'll choose a movie, and parents and kids and really everybody is invited to the Hoka Lounge to kind of chill and decompress a little bit before race day, and so that starts at 6 p.m. The expo ends at 7, and then we've got quiet hours, lights out, starting at 8 p.m. on Friday. I want to specify that if you have generators, that we just make sure that generators are turned off by 8 p.m. In the camping area. So RV generators, everything, we want to make sure that we are conscious of all of our neighbors within the area. So we've got a lot of campers staying overnight at headquarters and RV camping. So any generators, any noise, any music, anything like that, please turn that off by 8 p.m. Saturday is our big day. Starting 4 o'clock in the morning, our gates will open at the park at McDowell Mountain Regional Park. And please plan to arrive early. So if you are in the first wave, 6 a.m. wave of the race, and you're going for a sub 24, we'll have 2 waves for the 100 mile, and the 100 mile first wave will kick off at 6 a.m. but it is going to be a busy morning. So I want to make sure that people are prepared and they arrive on time, and that they're not rushing to the finish or to the start line. So make sure that you prepare and that you get your passes ready to go as you arrive, and parked on time and to the finish or to the start line for the first wave. So that's why we open 2 hours early, so we can accommodate the amount of people coming into the park. Drop bags for Jackass Junction. If you are starting in either the 100-mile or the 100K, please be sure to get those drop bags to Jackass Junction drop at Javelina headquarters by 5:30 a.m. Because all of those get taken at that time. 6 a.m. and 6:30 are going to be our 100-mile waves. So if you are looking to run a sub 24, or if you are chasing the golden ticket and competing, please make sure that you are in the 6 a.m. wave. And then we've got, and we'll kind of divide it. It'll be about 400 people in the first wave and 400 people in the second wave. So this is a very large event. We've got over 800 runners registered in the 100-mile, and then we've got about 400 runners registered in the 100K. So we have a lot of people headed out to the trails first thing in the morning. So just make sure that you double check your wave when you pick up your packet. It'll be typed on your packet for you. Just make sure that you double check it and you start in the right wave. 7 o'clock is going to be only one wave, and that's our 100K start. And then once all of the runners are out on the course, we do have some fun things planned for the crews and everybody staying within Javelina headquarters. So we've got yoga starting at 8 a.m. We've got a crew tent contest hosted by Hoka. We've got several food vendors and the charity beer garden, again, open at headquarters. So throughout the day, you can kind of wander around headquarters. Please utilize the Hoka area, the Hoka Lounge. They'll have areas for you to charge your phones. We have community crew tents that offer shade, and a food court with a variety of vendors there as well. And then just come to the finish line and cheer people on as well. We always love to have people involved at the start-finish line as well. So at 4 p.m., this is when Jackass runners, you can pick up your bibs starting at 4 p.m. You can come on Friday if you'd like, but if you want to come race day, you're welcome to do so. So 4 p.m. is your bib pickup, and that starts at 4 p.m. Your race starts at 6 p.m. Prior to Jackass race, we've got a couple of different activities happening. We've got the fashion show hosted by Hoka. We will have some costumes for people to try on there as well. And then we've got Spin Elements, Fire and Ice performing for you. This is their second year coming back to Javelina for a cool show. So come to the finish line if you're just hanging around, even if you're not running. Crews, families are welcome to come and enjoy these activities and these shows as well. So we've got the Jackass Night Run 31K. This is a one loop wonder around the course happening in wave 1 and wave 2 at 6 and 6:30. And then stick around if you're at headquarters, crews, spectators, families. Stick around, because we usually see the winner of the Javelina 100 come in around 7 to 7:30 is our anticipated time, and we always like to celebrate that with a good group. So you can anticipate the 100-mile champion celebration happening around 7 to 7:30. New to this year, we do have Desert Ink. We have Ink in the Desert hosted by Goo, and we've got Honest Bob Tattoo coming to tattoo. These are real tattoos, ink people in the desert. So if you are interested in getting a tattoo on site for Javelina 100, you'll have several options. I think a flash sheet of several options designed by Honest Bob, and he will take reservations. We'll have that linked soon, so watch our socials and watch our website for updated links for reservations if you are interested in getting a tattoo at Javelina 100. We'll have 2 opportunities starting at 9 p.m. to about 11:30 on Saturday, and then again in the morning from about 7 a.m. to the end of the race, so about 1 p.m. He'll be there tattooing people as well. All right, so Sunday Fun Day is when the race ends. At 6 a.m. is our 24-hour cutoff. So if folks are looking to go sub 24, you have till 6 a.m. on Sunday to get that big buckle. We also have the final loop cutoff for both the 100K and the 100 mile. So if you are on your last loop, or your 4th loop and then your 2nd loop for the 100K, you have until 6 a.m. to come through the checkpoint and start your last loop at 6 a.m. To finish your race. We have award ceremony at 11 a.m. starting in the Hoka Lounge. This is including all of our podiums, so our top 3 men's, top 3 women's, and our top 3 non-binary runners will be awarded at 11 a.m. And then we'll also do our Misfit Awards. So this is Best Costume, Oldest Finisher, DFL, all of those fun awards will be awarded also at 11 a.m. At the award ceremony in the Hoka Lounge. Then we've got golden hour starting at 11:30. This means the last hour before the event ends. At 12 p.m. is your 100-mile wave and 100K final cutoff, and then 12:30 is your 100-mile wave 2 final cutoff. Please stick around for those finishes. They're so very exciting, and we love celebrating every finisher, including the very last finisher of Javelina. So if you're interested and you're hanging around until the very bitter end, please join us at the finish line to celebrate these runners. All right, and then if you're camping, if you've got RVs, if you have tents, things like that, our final checkout is around 1 p.m. So make sure that you check out of your tent by that time. All right, so that was the entire race weekend. A little bit more kind of details are further in the runner guide, so Runner Expo, a little bit what to expect. Again, runners are required to pick up their bibs during the Runner Expo. This is 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday, October 27th. This is the big top tent, and just a lot of cool things happening. So please make sure you plan to pick up all of your things on Friday. All right, so you can read a little bit more about that, and then our featured vendors. Again, a link to our Hoka event hub if you would like to RSVP to all of the fun activities. A little bit about the course. You could read a little bit about the elevation, kind of a play-by-play of what the trail endures a little bit, but you've got a 20-mile, essentially a 20-mile loop that we've mapped out, mostly along the Pemberton Trail, but we are using the Pemberton, the Shalmo, and the Cinch trails. And then the very, very first loop, this is for the 100K and the 100-mile only. You will travel a little bit of the Escondido Trail as well. So just make sure that there's an important junction, and I'll point that out on the map, that you do the Escondido route just the one time. Runners will be traveling clockwise on the course the entire time. So we used to do a washing machine. We no longer do that. So the race is one way, and it's always clockwise. So you'll exit headquarters the same way every time, and you'll come in headquarters the same way every time. Do do not be fooled to think that this course is flat. There is a bit of a climb, and you will feel it after several loops. So it is a beautifully groomed trail. Pemberton is wonderful, but it is the desert, so there will be rocks, there will be sand. You'll go through washes, and there are some climbs, so be prepared for that. All right, so you can read kind of a play-by-play of the race as you leave Four Peaks staging area, which is where our Javelina headquarters are. But we'll have 3 remote aid stations and then the Javelina headquarters, and you're gonna come by Javelina headquarters each loop. So if you on the website, we'll have CalTopo. You can link to the CalTopo, and you can kind of download that. We also have a Coros map that you can download as well. So if you wear a watch and you want to take that course with you, there's a couple of different options for you to download the course, load that on your watch, or even keep it on your phone and operate it that way, so you make sure that you stay on course. We will mark the course extremely well, so it should not be a question at all, but we'll go over that here in just a second. But just kind of an overview of the map. We've got 3 remote aid stations. The longest you'll travel is about 6.5 miles between Coyote and Jackass, and then you've got another 5-mile stretch to Rattlesnake. Again, this course right here, this is your one loop. This is your first loop. You go on the Escondido Trail. So right after Jackass Junction, you'll leave the aid station, and you'll kind of go and crest up on a hill, and then you'll see a very visible fork. You will go left at that fork onto the Escondido Trail, the first loop only. It will be marked really well, but I just want to make sure that you do not do that more than once. This is a much longer trail, and this is how we get you all the way to your 100 miles. So this is your first loop only. Then the rest of the time, each and every loop after the first loop, you're going to do this right here. So this is your Shalmo Cinch Trail, and this is how you're going to come back to headquarters. So make sure that you turn right after the aid station after every time after the first loop. Okay. I think on the website there is a kind of a flyover to show you each loop and the way it's done. So every time you're going to go clockwise, you're going to do the Escondido loop, the first loop, and then the second loop, you're going to go on this blue line right here, which is your Cinch Trail. Okay. So Coyote, Jackass Junction, and Rattlesnake Ranch are your remote aid stations throughout the course, and then headquarters is going to be your base camp. That's where you're going to be able to see your crew after every single loop. Make sure that you carry enough water between each aid station. It is the desert, regardless of what the forecast says, whether it says 70 degrees or 80 degrees. All of this trail is exposed. So there are no places to sit in the shade or to rest or to kind of duck behind rocks. That does not exist out on this trail. So make sure that if you are not used to exposed trails, the desert is going to be a rude awakening, because that sun will feel very hot, even if it's 75, even if it's 80 degrees. Here in Phoenix and here in Arizona, 80 degrees can feel very, very warm. So make sure that you carry enough water between each aid station. A little bit of stats on the course, and then you can see what you're traveling for each aid station. Again, your longest stretch is going to be that 6.5 miles between Coyote and Jackass, and then another 5 to Rattlesnake. Then we've got links to both the 100-mile and the 100K course via CalTopo. And then on the website, you can also get those watch courses from Coros. race rules, and we'll go over these together, but please make sure that you and your crew take note on the race rules. This is non-negotiable for a lot of these. So no drones allowed. That means no spectators, no runners. This is up for disqualification if you or your crew or anyone associated within your group is flying drones. We are very specific to work with the park and get permits. We have special permits for our live stream, and the park is very strict about drones in the air and drones launched from within the park. And so we are permitted for our live stream. Those individuals are licensed and they have credentials to do so, but in no way are spectators, crews, or runners allowed to fly drones within the park. Littering is strictly prohibited. This includes organic waste. Every year I see it, and please be mindful that orange peels and banana peels and watermelon rinds don't decompose in the desert quickly at all. So I see it every year where somebody takes a bit of watermelon and they eat it and they walk away and then they chuck the rind into the desert. Please don't do that. If I see that, or if one of my volunteers sees that, you will be disqualified from the race. So this is all littering, even toilet paper. I understand that things happen and you have to go, but please don't leave toilet paper in the desert. Please don't leave anything. Just practice leave no trace in all regards. So we will have trash cans at the aid station, and then just a little bit beyond the aid station, kind of as a last ditch for any of your items that you end up having. So please just don't throw things in the desert. No pets. This is also, we love dogs, we love pets. We just don't allow them at Javelina 100 with the sheer mass amount of people that we have on site. It's just not a good idea. It's very overstimulating for your dogs, so please don't bring them to Javelina. There's no exception. No glass bottles. Please don't bring glass. We would love for you to BYOB or bring whatever refreshing cool beverage that you would like to have there at the race, but please just make sure that it's not glass. This is a closed course, so runners must follow the course as marked in the direction of the race. And deviating from that course in any way, or if you go the wrong way and then realize that you've gone the wrong way, you're going to have to backtrack and then go the right way. So don't deviate from the course and run the course as marked. We ask that you please respect all volunteers and park staff. We have amazing hosts at Javelina, and all of these individuals are volunteers within the park system. So just please be respectful and respect our volunteers as well for giving their time and energy to making sure you have an amazing race. Cutoffs will be enforced based on gun time. Gun time means the time that the race starts. So the time that the race is advertised to start, your wave 1 gun time is 6 a.m. for the 100 mile, 7 a.m. for the 100K, or 6:30 for the wave 2. So that's your gun time. And those cutoffs, even around the course, will be enforced based on that time. Official time is based on gun time as well, so that's your listed wave starts. Buckle awards, however, are based on chip time. So if you're cutting it close, like you're going out for that 24-hour, big sub 24-hour buckle, and you come across and it's maybe 6 a.m. and 30 seconds. If it took you 50 seconds to get across the mat, then your chip time will be within that 24 hours. So we will honor that. So buckles are awarded based on that chip time. Trekking poles are not allowed unless, please email me if you have a special circumstance and you need to be able to use poles. Just tell me about it, let me know, and we can make exceptions. Music with headphones, definitely allowed. big boom boxes, how old am I, are not allowed on the course. So if you have those like little portable speakers and you want to carry that, or you put it in that, if we can hear your music, we're going to ask you to shut it down. So keep your music in your head. Very easy. Let's talk about the weather. Again, record high, average temperature, 80s. Average low temperature, 50s. It's really nice. Record high, 95. Dangerously high. That's a miserable time for everyone, really. Record low, 40 degrees. Very cold. Hopefully, we're not going to break any records this year. So we do anticipate anywhere from upper 70s to mid 80s, but please do not be fooled. This is still a very warm race because of the exposure. So there's no shade to be had out on the course. Just make sure that you prepare yourself. We have all of these lovely tips and tricks from people who run the desert on a regular basis. And so please take note and read them and make sure that you follow them. Do not think that you are coming from Wisconsin or somewhere in the Midwest and you're like, I know heat. You do not. Not this kind of heat, at least. So if you are not accustomed to running the desert, these are great tips for your first time running or your second time. Whatever. Come to the desert and you'll find out. Yep. Okay. So running in the heat, hydration key. That's it. Water is good in and on your body. You'll see tons of photos that we have all over this runner guide and all over our website of people basically dousing themselves with water for a reason, because the air here is so arid and dry. You will sweat and then you will not see and or feel that sweat on your body at all. It will turn to salt. So your body will seem very, very dry. You're like, oh my God, I'm not sweating. It's dry and it evaporates immediately. So we say, please douse yourself and use that evaporative cooling to keep yourself cool. So as you get to each aid station, we have enough water and enough ice to make sure that you are properly, doused. And then you're going to take off and you're going to be like, oh, it feels so nice. So, get yourself an ice bandana and, sponge off a little bit and then go and you'll be like, my God, they were right. This is really great. It keeps you cool until you get to that next aid station. We're not fooling around here. Please use the ice. Please use the water at each of the cooling areas at each aid station. Okay, shade your dome. This is very just, whether you want to use a little umbrella or a hat or parrot costume sorts, whatever it is, this is just a great tip. Wear a hat. That's it. Sunscreen is your friend. Yes, sunscreen is important. Do not do what I do, which is I put on sunscreen in the morning and then forget about it the rest of the day, and then I turn pink. Don't do that. Don't be like me. So, sunscreen, apply and reapply. We have an amazing sponsor this year that is new to Javelina. Tanry is coming to Javelina, and they are passing out free samples of sunscreen. So please visit their booth. And so there's no excuse. Visit Tanry and get yourself some sunscreen and carry it with you on the course. Ice, again, reiterating, ice, lots of ice. We've got so much ice, ridiculous amounts of ice. I think we calculated that each aid station will host around 5 to 8 pounds of ice per person per aid station. So use all of the ice. That's it. Hot tips. Again, we repeating all of the things that we just said. Heat. Take it seriously. We got desert terrain. No shade. We see every year about a 50% to 60% finish rate of the Javelina 100, given the distance and given the terrain and given the elevation gain, it doesn't seem like a difficult race, but please don't be fooled. This is a very challenging race because of the heat, because of the terrain and the rocks and the sand, and a lot of the times because people start too fast and they go out and they're like, this is amazing and I feel so good. And it's really easy to do when you have 1,000 people joining you and everybody's hyped up and having a hoopla, because that's what Javelina is. But at the same time, if you do not pace yourself, you burn out quite literally in the desert. So don't do that. Don't start too fast. Be mindful of the sand and the terrain. We do recommend that people have gaiters if you're not used to running in the sand or the desert. Take the heat seriously. Do all of the fun hot tips that we posted, and then be mindful of the temperature swings. I love the desert so much because it's extreme, and so you see extremes during the day in the extreme heat, and then also at night. The ground of the desert does not hold any heat whatsoever. So as soon as the sun sets, it will be so cold so fast, and even though you didn't feel like you were sweating or you kept yourself wet throughout the day, you're gonna feel that chill almost immediately. So we recommend that you pack a layer either in your pack or in your drop bag, or you be mindful to carry an additional layer starting around 3 p.m. If you're hitting headquarters and you're ready to go out on the next loop. Just make sure that you pack a layer, because you will see the sun go down while you're on course, and so having a dry layer that's long sleeve will help you, because honestly, once you get through the heat of the day and the sun goes down and you can get into some dry clothes, you're great. Like that, you're gonna finish this race. So you gotta make it through the day, and then just be smart about keeping yourself dry and warm at night, and you're golden. So take a look through all of our hot tips, and just prepare. We're doing great. We're having fun. I am having a great time. Okay, race day. Park entry passes. Yeah, let's talk about it. So the park at the McDowell Mountain Regional Park charges $7 per entry fee for each motorized vehicle that comes in the park. If you are a registered runner of the Javelina 100, you have an entry fee that is already paid and for you through your registration. So as you come through the gate, either Thursday or Friday, you're going to pick up your parking pass. And then this parking pass will be good through the weekend. So just make sure that if you're a runner and you have a vehicle, that you pick up this parking pass. And this will get you in and out of the park without having to pay that fee. Okay, so there you are. If you have a VIP parking, so that was something a little bit new this year. We are opening up the comp lot as a premium parking area. So this means for individuals who are looking to car camp, or anybody who would like to be a little bit closer to the headquarters area. This is a very short walk. So here's the comp lot right here. And this is a short walk across to all of headquarters, basically on this side. And so this entire area is VIP parking. So volunteers will get VIP parking or premium parking, and then individuals who have pre-registered for VIP parking will also be able to get this pass to allow you into the comp lot. Everyone else will be parking along the side of the road. This park has ample parking space on both sides of the road. So there is no reason for people to kind of inch out into the middle of the road or to obstruct traffic in any way. There's plenty of space for you to pull off without, one, obstructing traffic, and two, going into the desert. So don't go into the desert, don't obstruct traffic, and we're all going to be fine. We'll have parking attendants to help you park on race day, understanding that there are a lot of people traveling to this race, and We'll have a lot of crews and a lot of spectators, a lot of runners coming in on race morning, parking along this road. We'll have a shuttle traveling up and down the road. So if you are parked a little bit further down the road and you don't want to walk all the way, please look for our shuttle. Our shuttle bus will be traveling on a round robin loop back and forth to pick people up and then drop people off at the headquarters lot here. Okay, so look for that shuttle, yeah, park well. Great. There's no vehicle access to headquarters on race day. I want to be very clear about what that means. We've got RVs who are allowed to park. They've got pre-registered passes to come in and park inside headquarters. Otherwise, there are no vehicles allowed to park anywhere within headquarters, aside from RVs and our medical vehicles. That's it. So we're going to close that gate starting Friday evening through Sunday, and there is no access. So that means that people are not allowed to come and get their car in the middle of Saturday and drive into headquarters to pick up their family or to pick up their runner or whatever it's going to be. You're not allowed to do that. Please don't do that. Last year we had an issue with traffic jams and blocking our emergency lanes. So now we've unfortunately restricted access completely to the area. So no vehicle access is allowed on race day to headquarters. All right, let's get into it. Race day, start time. You can review your start time, but again, Saturday, 100 mile, 2 waves, 6 a.m. and 6:30, and then 100K starts at 7 a.m. Wave starts when you registered for a wave. That wave will be printed on your runner packet when you receive it. If you have questions about your wave, please feel free to email us, but you will be assigned a wave and receive that wave assignment on your packet when you pick it up at the expo. Distances and drops. If you are in the 100 mile and you are not quite sure, you can drop the distance to the 100K prior to your race start. That means you have the last opportunity is at the expo on Friday before your race. So if you start the 100 mile, that is the distance that you're going to run and be marked for. Same thing for the 100K. So if you're in the 100 mile and you complete 3 loops, which is the 100K, and you're like, can I drop and just be marked for the 100K? We will not do that. It's a DNF. If you start the 100 mile, that's what you're going to finish. Cutoffs. Overall cutoff for the 100 mile, 30 hours, and then 29 hours for the 100K. And that is also wave dependent. So if you start at 6:30, which is wave 2 for the 100 mile, you'll get all the way 30 hours complete to 12:30, which is your final cutoff for wave 2. Okay, so a little bit about those cutoffs. We've got a full moon happening on race day, so that's amazing. If you've never run the desert under a full moon, I highly recommend at some point, if you're feeling good, if you're feeling happy, whatever, turn off your headlamp and run in the moonlight, and it's pretty special. The moon illuminates the desert to the point where when your eyes adjust, it feels like everything glows, and it's really, really beautiful. So if that's an experience you would like and you're out there and you kind of feel a little bit of the solitude, turn off your headlamp and allow the desert to guide you a little bit, allow the moon to guide you. It's a cool experience, and highly recommend. This is not something that happens every year, so when it does happen, that's what I recommend. Medical. Let's talk about medical. We have MedStar Solutions, which is the organization that we've been working with for, I think, the last 4 or 5 years, and they're absolutely amazing. They understand ultra running and ultra runners, and are out there to support you. So if you come across a medical emergency, or if you have a medical emergency, we do have a dedicated line for everyone at the event. So this is crews, this is runners. Please do not call 911. Call our medical staff. They are there and operating the entirety of the race. We have basic life support and medical EMTs at each one of our 8 stations. So you can visit them if you're having, if you need to. We have a base operation out of Javelina headquarters, and then we have a dedicated line. So in the case that you need assistance out on the trail, our medical staff will be able to pinpoint your location and arrive to you faster, because they know the area and they know the trail much better than any one of the resources outside of the event. So don't call 911, fire department, things like that. If necessary, our medical staff will do that. But for the race purposes and for the efficiency of the race, make sure that you communicate with, directly. Each one of our bibs will have that medical number printed on every bib in every distance, okay? And then also on our pacer bibs. So our pacers will also be able to have a bib with that emergency number printed on the side. Okay. A little bit about timing. This is not a great example, but here is one of our bibs, and then on the back you'll have 2 timing chips on the back. Please do not bend across those timing chips. They are important to make sure that we have accurate readings at each aid station. So we'll be able to track you at each aid station. We'll be able to get your splits, and we'll be able to mark you for every single loop, but please don't damage or fold across those timing chips when you receive your bib. Live stream and race tracking. This is the 3rd year, I think, that we've done live stream. We're so excited to bring you basically unfolding the entire race for you. Those links will go live race weekend, and please check out our YouTube channel at aravaiparunning.com. Sorry, at Aravaipa Running on YouTube, and we'll have all of these fun things happening, including chasing gold for the golden ticket contenders. We'll have pre-race interviews, and then of course live coverage throughout the entire race. So check us out there. That's brought to you by Steep Life Media and our team here at Aravaipa. Let's go over crews. Crews is a great crewing is great at Javelina because everything is centralized at Javelina headquarters. It's just a really cool experience to be able to host your family, to host all of your friends, to host multiple runners as a collective, to your run group, whatever it is, and kind of have this really cool community experience at Javelina headquarters. So you get to see everything, all of the things happening at Javelina headquarters, but you get to see your runner multiple times if you're a crew member hanging around Javelina this year. So read a little bit about what's offered for our crews. It is only allowed at Javelina headquarters, but we make it a lot of fun. You can basically set up your 10x10 if you have a reservation to do so. Those 10x10 canopies kind of become your home base that you can operate out of. We also have community crew tents throughout headquarters as well, and I'll point those out on our map. A couple of things that we ask, that you leave the desert in the desert. So we have had issues with people pulling rocks out of the desert or out of the no man's land, what we like to call it, and then those rocks get strewn about the parking area, which is hazardous for vehicles and for people just walking around. So we just ask that you respect the desert, And any undisturbed desert, you just leave it undisturbed. So if you are going to bring a tent, just make sure that you can anchor it properly without utilizing anything or rocks or things from the desert. Aid station and food and drinks and things like that, those are for runners and pacers only. We will allow crews to go to the aid station to fill water, but please note that that water is for the runners. We do have food vendors and drink vendors and juices and pizza and popcorn and all the things happening in the food court up by the Hoka Lounge and by the start finish line. So come and visit if you'd like to do, if you need sustenance and whatever up at the finish line. We've got, we want to make sure that crews are also prepared for the desert. This just means making sure that you're hydrating, you're wearing all of the sunscreen, you've got hats and glasses, and that, you're prepared for even the cool, chilly nights that happen as well. So bring layers and just make sure that you pack for the desert, that you prepare as well. We do have ice for sale at the Javelina Big Top. So the Big Top is really hard to miss. It's this giant tent in the middle of it all. And so you can check out our Javelina store and grab ice there. Again, reiterating, no pets allowed at Javelina. This race is rated R, which means that it's not the most kid-friendly. So we just want you to be mindful that we will be playing explicit music. There are some risque costumes out there. We do have a Best Ass Award that we award each year. So there are peaches just all over the place. So we just want to forewarn you and make sure that if you bring tiny humans, you kind of know what to expect. Again, leave no trace. We want to make sure that if you have things that you're bringing, that you dispose of trash properly. If you are bringing gear, coolers, tents, chairs, whatever it is, and you do not want to take that away with you, if you're flying in and you have to get things but you can't fly it out, totally understandable. We do have a gear donation, so we would prefer that any camping gear, tents, chairs that you do not want to take with you after the event is done, that please allow us to recycle it. We will use it for future events. You will see we will have camping chairs kind of in our community crew areas, and the reason we have those chairs is because people have left those there for us to reuse and for other people to use. So we will recycle it. Please don't throw that in the garbage. We want to be mindful of what we're throwing away. So dispose of things properly, and then if you have gear or things like that, please consider gear donation over trash. I can't believe I have to put this in here, but please do use the on-site facilities. This means the porta-johns on-site, and don't go in the desert. That should be self-explanatory, but we've had people out, by the cactus, and that's let's not do that. Okay, yeah. If our rangers find you out in the desert, off trail or like in the midst of things, they will find you. So we just want to make sure, again, don't disturb the desert. That's supposed to be undisturbed. Don't go out off trail somewhere as well. You will be fined by a ranger or a staff if they catch you. For crews specifically, and runners as well, we do have showers on site. The park is allowing us to use showers, so showers are located in the comp track. If you want to use those facilities, please note that the restroom facilities will be closed, but the shower facilities are open by the park. So you'll use porta-johns that are provided by the race, and then if you need a shower before you leave, you can use that at the park. Okay, Let's go over tent check-in. So again, this year we're trying something new, so give us a little bit of grace because we want to be able to find the best way forward as the race grows. Last year we kind of did this mad dash. It was not a great experience, at least for me, because I want to make sure that we are considerate of everyone that is arriving, and then also that people are safe and that we don't have any accidents or anything like that. So sprinting in the desert with giant tents and coolers is not my favorite thing. So I wanted to change that this year. So give us a little bit of grace because we are adjusting this year with this new process. So this year we've chosen to do a time slot reservation. Essentially, you registered online for a specific time to come in to set up your crew tent, and we only have about 300 spots around the entire camp. So please be considerate that if you or someone in your group already has a tent, to release that spot so people on the wait list can be accommodated. We recommend about 4 runners to 1 10x10 pop-up. If you have more than 8 to 10 runners, please reach out to us so we can possibly accommodate like 2 tents or more. I think we have one group coming with almost 20 runners, and so we're able to work with you and accommodate and make sure that you have enough space for your entire group, especially if you're bringing that many runners. But you know, having one pop-up for one runner and one crew person, there's over 1,000 people coming to this race and very finite amount of space. So we just want to make sure that we can accommodate as many people as possible. So if you know people that are going and you want to buddy up, we recommend kind of throwing yourself and kind of leaning into that community experience. It's a lot of fun. It's a really cool way to get to know people and to kind of party and to create that party atmosphere at Javelina. So be considerate and share the space, invite people into the space, and yeah. Okay. So this is new. Just bear with us as we navigate this a little bit. For your arrival, each reservation on Thursday and on Friday will allow runners and crew about a 90-minute window for them to arrive and set up their crew camp. Once you arrive to the park, participants and their crews will be directed to a gear drop within Javelina headquarters. What you're going to do is you're going to drop all of your gear, and you'll check in, and then you'll go and you'll park your car, and then you can find a space, kind of first come, first serve, depending on your reservation, where you want to be, and then start setting up. One of the rules that we have this year is if you see a chair in a space, these spaces will be marked out with chalk, and so they will be kind of like marked out for you when you arrive. But if you see a chair or a cooler in a square space, please don't move that. That means it's been reserved, and so we just want to be mindful of kind of save space and respect other people's items. If you need a little bit of guidance to find kind of where things are going to be out on the course, we have our team and a team of volunteers ready to help you when you arrive to find the best space for you and your crew. Registration verification. Once you have reserved time on your No Man's Land reservation or registration, you'll have a confirmation number. Use that confirmation number to check in with us, and so that we can verify your registration. We just want to make sure that you've arrived at the appropriate time, and that you will have either 1 or 2 tents, depending on the size of your group. A little bit more about crews, drop bags, pacers. Let's go over drop bags. You'll have 2 areas for drop bags, one at Javelina headquarters and one at Jackass Junction. If you do want a remote drop bag at Jackass Junction, just again, make sure that you drop it off at 5:30 a.m. in the morning, or you can drop it off prior to the race on Expo Day. So if you want to bring your drop bag to the Expo and then drop off your Jackass drop bag there at headquarters a day in advance, you can do that as well. Drop bag return. If you do have a remote drop bag at Jackass Junction, we do our very best to get back all of the all of the drop bags by 10 a.m. So that's when the aid station kind of closes. We'll do our best to get as many drop bags back by that 10 a.m. time. The latest it will probably be 11 a.m. because it does take about 45 minutes for our crew to travel from Jackass to headquarters. So the latest will be probably about 11 a.m. But if you want it back earlier, we will have a big watermelon bin that will say Jackass discard pile. So once you are done with your last loop or done with your drop bag, take that drop bag and put it in that big bin, and then we will, as we arrive and do shuttles throughout the night, we will grab those drop bags and then return them to headquarters for you. Pacers. Let's go over pacers. Pacers are going to get a bib. All of these bibs will be available to you at the Big Top tent on both Expo Day, so Friday on the 27th, and then also race day and throughout race day. So if you go to the Big Top tent, you can sign up. Your pacers can sign up for a bib at any time. They just need to sign a waiver and then pick up their bib. They are allowed so for the 100 miles, pacers are allowed around the 3 loop mark, or what we call the sunset rule. So whichever comes first. So if you have only completed 2 loops, but you are coming in and it's about sunset time. So this is any time, like say you're coming in off of your second loop. You're coming in for your second loop, and you want to pick up a pacer and it's about 5 or 5:30, 30 minutes before sunset, your pacer can go ahead and travel with you at that time. So sunset or after 3 loops, whichever comes first. Same thing for the 100K. They can join after 2 loops or at sunset again. Multiple pacers can be used, but not at the same time. So if you're going to use one pacer for loop 4 and one pacer for loop 5, that's totally fine. You could do that. Just make sure that they can complete that full 20-mile loop, because there are no half loops for pacers. Pacers have to be human, so again, no pets at Javelina 100, and then also bicycles are not allowed. No muling or carrying of participant gear. Your pacer is there for your support, but not to be a pack mule and to carry water or snacks or anything like that. So you have to be self-sufficient. Your pacer needs to be self-sufficient in that regard, and then they can support you outside of that. And then again, all pacers on course need to have a pacer bib. Volunteer pacers, if you are coming in from out of town and you want to experience the course, and you have, if you don't have a runner to pace, but you would like to pace a runner, we do have what we call the Pacer Connection. Inside of the Big Top, you'll have a big board that you can put your name on, your number, and then we'll try to find and pair you with a runner. Same for runners. If you're looking for a pacer and you need a pacer, make sure you sign on the side that says runners in need of a pacer, and it's kind of like adopt a runner, and we'll try to connect you and make sure that you have a pacer or that you have an opportunity to pace. But that's going to be found inside of our Javelina store, inside the big top. Dropping from the race. If you do drop from the race, we totally understand. We just need to make sure that you are accounted for. So you have to notify the timing tent, or if you drop remotely at either one of the aid stations, so if you drop at Coyote, Jackass, or Rattlesnake, you need to tell the aid station manager or captain of the aid station that you are doing so they can relay that information to us, so we can make sure that you're not somewhere off and wandering in the desert. Please do not walk off course and not tell anybody, or even if you're ready to drop and you don't want to make the trek to the timing tent, have a crew or a family member or a pacer do that for you. We can make sure to mark you as off the course. We just need to know about it. Okay, so please do not walk off the course without letting someone know. Because if you are still on course and the race has ended, I will be calling you at all hours of the day to see where you are. Last lap bracelets. We do this every year. This is a cool tradition that we have. If you are in the 100-mile and you are on your last lap, when you come through the timing area and you are off your 4th loop and ready for your 5th loop, let us know and let our volunteer know at the finish line, and we will gift you with a last lap bracelet. It's just a little bit of motivation to make sure that you complete your race, that you are almost there. So make sure to get that bracelet. And then it's also an indicator for our volunteers along the way at each remote aid station to show that you are on your last lap and that you have made it. And so it's just kind of giving you a little bit of a boost as you travel that last lap. So 5 loops in the desert, get that last lap bracelet from us when you're ready to finish. Okay. Let's talk about the community crew zones. This is something we wanted to accommodate. We understand that not everybody has a dedicated crew, or they travel alone, or they are coming to Javelina 100 and they are running without a crew, and it's absolutely, you can do that. Please know that there are no requirements for crew at this event. Our aid stations are quite elaborate, and so you can have an incredible race and feel very supported throughout your entire experience without a crew. So if you don't have a crew, please don't think that you need one or that it's required of you. We will have community crew zones. And this just means that if you don't have a pop-up tent, or you missed your chance to reserve a tent this year, you are welcome to set up a chair. We'll have tables. We'll have access to water. Both areas are shaded, so you can set up and kind of either crew yourself or even have a couple of your crew join you in the community crew area. So one space is going to be, if we zoom in a little bit, there are 2 big ramadas right where this Javelina is. So that is going to be the drop bag zone. Just kind of a look at your Javelina headquarters. When you come in, this is going to be right here. This is going to be kind of your main aid station area. So the black line is your course, and this is your start line. So when people start, you're going to go and follow all the way through all of those camping tents. You're going to run through the big top. You're going to continue on through the crew area, and then you'll hit this zone here. This is 2 big ramadas where you can keep all of your drop bags. This is a community crew zone. You can have your crew set up. There are tables, there are chairs, there's access to water. It's close to the restrooms. So you are welcome to utilize this space. And then every time that you come in or exit, you're going to run by our main aid station. Here's our food station, our water station. These are very large tents, and they're already, like, we have amazing volunteers who are ready to support you. Our main medical aid station is going to be right here at the top. So again, every time that you come in or every time that you exit headquarters, you're going to run by this area twice. Our next community crew area is going to be this big Hoka star tent, what we're going to call a star tent. Our big top tent will be kind of our center focus at headquarters, and then right here between Tent City and our store is going to be on Saturday. On Friday, it's going to be our hosted vendor area, and then once all of those areas clear, we turn it into a community crew space, so you can set up. Again, we'll have chairs for you, but you can utilize those, or you can bring your own, and that will be available to you all Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Camping at headquarters is going to be Friday and Saturday. This year, you have two options. Tent City are going to be tents that have been set up for you and ready to go, or you can bring your own tent with a camping permit, and you can set up in our Gen Camp area, which is kind of BYOT, and make your own space. So you have that option. I just kind of want to go over a little bit more with Javelina headquarters. This map again is going to be in your runner guide and crew guide. So please familiarize yourself with it a little bit. It's kind of a cool way to kind of get to know the layout of the entire event. But you've got all of your crew tents, and you'll kind of see the crew zones. This area right here, this is no man's land. This is what I was talking about. Please don't pull rocks from this area. This is kind of popped up on a berm, and like we just want to make sure that no one is traveling through here because this is undisturbed desert, and we don't want to pull rocks from it as well. We've got our food court and our Hoka lounge. A lot of things happening in the Hoka area throughout the weekend. Again, visit the Hoka hub or the event hub to see throughout the weekend what they're hosting. Crews are welcome to come and set up here and charge their phones and sit in the shade and grab some food and come in here and kind of relax a little bit and kind of watch. It's directly across from the finish line, so you can watch the race unfold a little bit that way as well. But it's just a really cool area that they set up for your use, so please feel free to utilize it throughout the weekend. If you're dropping off a drop bag for Jackass Junction, this is going to be that zone. You'll see a big sign that says Jackass Drop Bags, but it's going to be right between like the Hoka Lounge and that no man's land. You'll see a big light and then a big sign that says Jackass Drop Bags. Our big store and expo area. So as you arrive, this is our gear drop off for those crews and camping, RV areas and sprinter vans. And then you'll see kind of a welcome sign. This is going to be where you pick up your bib. This is also our live stream. So we'll have a studio on site with commentators on site if you want to go and visit that tent. Kind of cool this year. Community to crew zone. You've got your Tent City, all of the crew spaces. Here's our facilities that will be available to you. We have, I don't know how many different porta-johns, but quite a lot. I want to say 60 on site, and then you'll have porta-johns at each and every aid station. So please be mindful of that. I understand that when you gotta go. But please, if you're going in the desert, practice leave no trace. If you're a runner, if you are a crew, please use the facilities on site. Crews, please be mindful of these areas as well. This is where you can find dumpsters and trash cans. We'll have that kind of like spread throughout the area, but if you need to throw away any large items, If it's gear, please consider gear donation. It will be right next to the dumpsters. And then the dumpsters for any discarded trash or anything like that throughout the weekend. If you want to come and visit some of our sponsors, it's going to be right up here, kind of at Vendor Village. We have amazing sponsors that we get to partner with each year. So Squirrels Nut Butter, Rabbit, Goo, and Tannery are going to be on site. We also have CTS coaching on site this year. And then we work with some amazing clubs, Black Men Run, Latinos Run, Native Women Running, and the Front Runners, Front Walkers of Phoenix. They are also all going to be on site with athletes on course this year, and a lot of them are also sponsoring our aid stations. So that's going to be kind of our vendor village up by the start-finish line. And then here's our start-finish line. I just want to go over real quick, if you take nothing away from this race brief, or if you take one thing away, I want it to be this. And this is how you're going to come in and out of headquarters as a runner every single loop. Okay. So when we start the race at 6 a.m. or at 7 a.m. for the 100K, you're going to travel about a quarter mile through headquarters every loop. So you're starting and you're headed this way, and you get to run through all of the crews each loop, which is really exciting, and there's a lot of energy. You run past our community crew zones and then our aid station and our medical. When you come to this corner, we call it Hot Corner. When you come to this fork, you will always go left every single time. This is Shalmo Trail, and this is Escondido Trail coming in. You will always exit on Shalmo Trail. So when you pass medical, look for the trail that leads to the left, and that is going to be, you'll see like big Hoka arches. Go through those Hoka arches every single time. Every time you're going to go clockwise around the loop, and then you'll come back on Escondido Trail. So when you come back on Escondido Trail here, again, you're going to go past all of our aid through the community crew zone, but you're going to travel all the way to the finish, even for every loop. And the reason is we want to clock you for that loop. So don't travel to your crew station and then go back out without coming to the finish line first. So every loop, you're going to come in to headquarters all the way to the finish line. You're going to high five me or a group of my volunteers. We're going to tell you good job and keep going. And then you're going to loop back out. But you want to make sure to clock every loop. And you're going to do that by visiting us at the start finish line. So again, so every time you go out, you're going to go to the left, go out that way. And when you come in, you're going to go all the way to the finish and then back out. So a lot of people will come into after every loop, they'll come into headquarters, they'll go to the finish first, and that's what I recommend. Clock it, and then you can stop along the way. You can see your crew members, you can take a break, you can come through the big top, you can wave to all of my lovely staff there, and take your time back through. But always out this way, always in this way, clock it every time. Please memorize that when you look at this map. This is how it operates. I will try to go over it again pre-race. I will be at the expo. If you have questions, please come and talk to me. I'll be kind of right in front of a giant map of this area. But if you're going to take away anything from this race brief, I want you to understand how to come in and exit for every single loop. There's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of stimulation. There's a lot of music. There's a lot of cheering. And I understand that people can kind of get disoriented and like, oh, what do I do? And what happens? But memorize it. Once you get to the medical tent, this hot corner, once you see this, always leave to the left. And then once you come back in, always come and see me at the finish line before you start your next loop. Okay? We have an amazing awards ceremony starting at 11 a.m. on the 29th. We will recognize all of our podium finishers. We will recognize our golden ticket winners. We will recognize all of our misfits and those funny awards and our 5-time finishers. If you get a buckle, you're going to get that right there at the finish line. So as soon as you finish, we'll have a buckle waiting for you, but please join us for our awards ceremony on Sunday. We call it Javelina Hallelujah because it's Sunday Fun Day, and we get to award some amazing performances throughout the race. This is our Misfits Award. 5-time finishers. If you're a 5-time finisher, we'll have a jacket waiting for you. This is individuals who cannot get enough of Javelina, and I love so much that there are so many people coming to run Javelina year after year. We get to really know you year after year, so it's really cool to see the same faces return to Javelina and finish. And so if you have finished more than 5 times, we want to recognize you, and we have a special 5-time finisher jacket waiting for you at the finish line. Best costume, best team finish, dead last, Jerry K, best ass and youngest and oldest finishers are some of the nonsensical misfit awards that we also award at the event. And it's not on here, but best crew tent. I'm going to nominate 5 of the best crew spaces that I see on Saturday, and then we'll put those up on the Hoka Events Hub, and then you get to vote for your best crew. So check that out, and yeah. Javelina 100 is presented by Hoka and these amazing sponsors that we get to partner with to bring you an amazing event. That is your runner guide. And if you have any questions, or if you don't find information, or your questions are not answered by 1, going through this guide, or 2, going through the crew guide, or on the website, you are more than welcome to email us, info@aravaiparunning.com, and we will do our best to get you as much information as possible. If you are a cruise, or if you are bringing a crew, please have them review the crew guide. It really is a lot of the same information. It's kind of repeat from the website and from the runner guide, but just it's very catered down to specific crew information. So have them review it, schedule of events, family fright night, all the Hoka Hub. These are all linked, so you can link to and RSVP to all of the fun activities. Crew rules and pacer rules. Please review. Again, those are a lot of the same things that I just went over in the runner guide. Here is a little bit better photo of our premium parking area, our main headquarters, and then street parking along the main park road. Same information for crew and tent setup, and our community crew zones, our maps, medical, weather, a little bit more about the restrooms and showers and where those are located. Again, those showers are going to be located within the comp lot, so you are welcome to those. Live stream and race tracking. Something really cool this year that we're adding is an opportunity for people to view our live stream on site. So if you are interested in watching the entire race out on the course unfold, you can do that inside the Big Top. We're going to have a screen available to crews and to spectators who want kind of an on-course view of what's happening throughout the race. So if you visit our Big Top and like inside the store of for Javelina, we'll have a screen there for you to view the live stream. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Thank you again for your time and for your attention. If it is useful to you to listen to this race brief, to listen to me kind of pull you through the runner guide, that's great. But please, if you have an opportunity to sit down and read through all of the details, it's just a great idea so that you are fully prepared and that you have all of the information and resources that you need to have an excellent experience at Javelina. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming to Javelina this year. We have an amazing event planned, and I'm very, very excited. I'm always so stoked to see so many people in the desert to enjoy this radical and outrageous race. And it's the highlight of my year, and I hope that you have as much fun as I do. So if you have any questions from now until race day, again, please email us info@aravaiparunning.com. You can hit us up on Facebook or on one of our social platforms. We're very responsive there. And good luck with the last week of your prep, and we will see you at least starting on Friday, the 27th at the Runner Expo, and certainly at the start of the race on Saturday, October 28th. Good luck, and we'll see you in the desert.